What is up, friendos, and welcome in to Leading Off right here on Fantasy Pros. I'm back. It's the Welsh. I got KC Bubba in the house for the final countdown. It's the final week of the fantasy season, the regular season. We end it all. It is like Michael Impo said in the chat. Yes, bittersweet at the end of the regular season. All good things must come to an end, but it's only like the Phoenix to burn it down so we rise again bigger and better into next year. What an introduction. I'm glad to be here with you all. Glad to talk to you all in this final week. Bubba, you guys have been holding it down like champs. A lot of baseball this year, a lot of crazy stuff. In the show, we're going to be talking about a few streaming pitchers you can do over the next couple days. We've got the biggest news. We got some injuries, and obviously we got our big bets. But hat tip to you and Joe Arico, where on Wednesday, that'll be your guys' last show together as you guys have been holding it down a bit.
Yeah, no, it's been great. Love coming on every September for the last couple of years now to help bring the people home to the championships, hopefully, while all the football people go do football things. And in typical football fashion, they'll be back on Friday, folks. So enjoy the show, but thanks for having us, Welsh.
That's right. How we do it. Some good stuff in the chat here. Patrick took down my championship with 22 homers and 47 total bases in just 1 week. Thanks for all the advice, Welsh, Bubba, Joe, and Joe, all the Joes out there. Michael also saying, started doing fantasy baseball 8 seasons ago, started listening halfway through my first season, and the last 7 seasons have finished first or second every time, championship week. Mwah. Beautiful. Love to hear it. On the episode, boy, do we have the most ridiculous thing ever to talk about, that the news has carried over a whole bunch of stuff. So hopefully we can carry you into this final week. Oh, by the way, are you big into, I feel like a lot of people, maybe more leagues than I was prepared for, were playing into this week, but are you a big play the final week fantasy guy? Like in many instances, people are done. You ended before the final week. I've said this a couple times since I've been on. Things have changed. In the old 40-man, September call-up days, like everything would get disastrous and ruined because you'd have these weird rosters. Now it's different because there's not as many players up. But are you a big play till the this Sunday, the final game stuff?
Well, I play season-long roto, so that is the case for me.
I guess that's a head-to-head question I just asked you.
For head-to-head, though, no. Like I have people messaging me questions, and it's just insanity of what they're trying to do, streaming and whatnot. So yeah, no, I think you should do not play the final week. I'm starting to become more of a Joe Pisapia. Let's stop on September 1st type guy.
I am too. I like, I've mentioned it. Bogman and I, we did this new version of a league, our home league, where it was 2 leagues split into one. It's the first half at All-Star break. It ends. That's Roto. And then we play from All-Star break on, and we do head-to-head, and it goes into a playoff mode, and you can have 2 champions to kind of keep people more invested. We also redraft at that middle point. That would be an instance where I think I would be good going into the very, very final week, obviously. But I don't know. I think I'm still a proponent of ending last week and not going into this week. Not to say that there aren't some important things, and not that there's a bunch of dudes that are going to get pushed off of starts and not starting and whatnot, but injuries are more brutal. I mean, Rafael Devers just he's done. Just done for the year.
We're out of it. You can take the day off.
We're out. We're not going to do it.
We're going to see a lot of that this week.
And that's what kind of stinks. So be prepared. Make sure you're checking out all the tools over at Fantasy Pros. You can check out some of the hot hitters. Obviously, my playbook has hooked you up all season, so make sure you are doing all of that. This episode also brought to you by Bet365. Promo code leading off. Get $5. Bet $5. Get $150 in bonus bets today. Go over to Bet365. Download the app. Use that promo code leading off. Pretty bad transition, or good transition if you want to look at it like that. CJ Abrams this weekend was optioned to Class A West Palm Beach, and the collective internet. Sometimes I actually enjoy not being the immediate person that reacts, because all anybody did was go, huh? Was it? Then we found out CJ Abrams was optioned, to everybody's shock, because he violated team curfew by staying out at a Chicago-based casino until 8 a.m. Now, there's a lot of, I don't know if it's misinformation, whatever. There are photos that are out there. Some people are saying it's from some time before. There's internet, social media chatter that part of this 8 a.m. session was because CJ Abrams, this is all alleged, lost $180,000 gambling. And I will tell you, as a gambler, as a person that has left the casino, has entered at night and left in the morning, poker player, the only reason you're usually there to ungodly hours is you're chasing your tail.
Yes,
and
yes.
that unfortunately seems like a chasing the tail situation. This is a bad one. This is going to haunt. There's this really funny moment in the Mets broadcast where they were talking about it, and Keith Hernandez is like, "Hey, listen, I get 4 a.m., but not 8 a.m." But do you think this is going to carry over into next year? Or are we just going to kind of move past? Like, are we going to move past this like we are like Jameson Williams, who bet and had parlays last year and everyone loves him now in football? We're just going to move past it and just not think about this with Abrams? Or do you think this could be something in the offseason where maybe they move off of him?
I think it's just a week punishment. He's on timeout type deal, and he'll be back. They've already said he's a part of their future. He's a part of their family. They'd be crazy to move off of him. The talent, like he was actually heating up again before this took place. So he'll be back. He'll be there on opening day. And I think this is more of a, hey, you're young. You made a dumb decision. Get it right. And we'll move on from here. They did the same thing to Luis Garcia last year. They sent him down for disciplinary reasons. So this is a Nationals situation.
Was he at the roulette table? Was that part of the problem?
I don't think so. Maybe he was getting a massage. I don't know, but he was out late apparently and got a punishment as well. I'm just speculating. I don't know. Maybe he was. No, I'm not going to go any farther. It's a FantasyPros.
But we're pretty far from staying out gambling and getting a massage. What are you talking about? What do you think would keep you at the casino until 8 a.m.?
Oh, he's losing. He's losing his diamond because
what game? Clearly, he's losing. CJ Abrams lost a lot of money in the last week, not just gambling. You know what? Probably. I don't remember. You know what? If he's on his old contract or his rookie contract, now I'm thinking about it, the gambling was probably more. Any normal athlete, you probably lost more money than what was just gambled by being kicked out over the next, week and a half. But yeah, what's the game that's going to keep you there?
For me, it's blackjack. It's always been blackjack. I can play blackjack till the sun comes up. Like that. If you have a good craps table, that's good, but you can lose money quickly. Blackjack.
I don't understand craps.
I don't understand craps. You need a good table. Like those people that sit there and play craps by themselves, that's a lonely life. That really is. But if you have a good table, craps is amazing. It's so much fun. But for me, I'll sit there and play blackjack till the sun comes up. I've done that many times, and most of the time it is chasing the dragon type scenario. But it's that. Now I heard the new cool thing is people go play, was it Pie Gal or whatever, that goes till the ungodly hours of the morning. But yeah, I'll play blackjack all day, every day.
Yeah, I think blackjack is an obvious one. I think the picture of him was at a roulette table. Yeah, poker for me. Poker's an easy one to just play all night, keep going. But blackjack definitely has an element because, like poker, you can do like a 12-hour session and just whatever. But blackjack is chasing the dragon type of situation. So I don't know. I think it's something to keep an eye out for. I think the obviousness for this team, they have a lot of young talent. They have got James Wood. They've got Dylan Cruz. You don't want to set a precedent of one of the, I don't even know if they would consider him a leader, out till 8 a.m., rocking a blackjack table. And maybe they wanted, have him, it's not a scapegoat even. It's just like, you can't do that. That's part of it. I do think there's something to take a look at that this team could just be like, hey, listen, this guy up and down, maybe he's really contrite about it and whatever. I wouldn't be completely dismissive that this team doesn't look to do something in the offseason, not saying that they will, if this is a major problem, because that is a dramatic punishment. That's not like, hey, listen, you're going to sit for the rest of the season on the bench and you're going to support your players and you're going to show up 2 hours early. That's get the hell out of here type of punishment. And that's why I'm making a tiny bit more about it. But
real quick question. So this was 8 a.m. for a 1 p.m. game. What if it was a 7 p.m. game? Would this have been a big of an issue?
Probably not.
That's my point. Yeah. So CJ, not trying to get him out of the doghouse here, but I wonder if there's more to it than just this one time.
Yeah. 100%. That's what I'm talking about too. This could be like a thing. This could be. Yeah. I've experienced it. We have casinos out here in Arizona. I actually have one right next to Salt River Field.
Yes, I've been there. Right behind Top Golf. Oh yeah.
Yeah. We've a lot of us have been there, and I've gone there. Athlete Charles Barkley would hang out there. I remember being on field a couple years ago in the Arizona Fall League, and God, I'm forgetting the guy's name. Who's a Yankees prospect? He was so excited. He told everybody around him, about how he went out and was at the casino all night that night and won $2,100. And he was telling everybody that would listen to him. No, I don't even think he's in baseball anymore at that time. So it's not uncommon for them to, kind of feed that need, but 8 a.m. is part of the problem. So CJ Abrams will be on the lookout for it in the offseason. Let's talk about some other stuff in here. How about the White Sox? They are record holders and might make more records on Tuesday. White Sox now have tied the record for most losses since 1900 with 120, and they got 6 games to go, Bubba.
Yeah.
They're going to break some records.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much a lock. I could even agree with Nightingale, who tweeted it, who usually ruins everything from happening. So if for some reason the White Sox sweep the final 6 games, you know what direction to point. But I'm thinking they lose at least 4 of these 6, just the way they're playing. And this might be like 124 games in a 162 game season. Just wrap your head around that. That is insanely,
I think they lose them all.
Horrible. Like, they make movies called Major League about this. They weren't even that bad. Like, this is bad.
No. Yeah, no, it's historically bad, and hat tip to them for being like literally the worst in over 100 years. Like they're going to stack that. Like, think about that. Like a team, how embarrassing for Andrew Vaughn and Luis Robert and Garrett Crochet. Garrett Crochet mired. I mean, up and down season, I believe he's like the first or the third, or it's not many with under 150 innings pitch, over 200 strikeouts. That's an absurd number, but they will always be remembered as the worst. So, and you're going to have to carry that into next year, because they also said they're not going to spend. They want to cut payroll to next year.
Yeah.
Definitely will have an effect. If Garrett Crochet were a Brave, we'd be talking about him as a top 5 SP, but we can't with the White Sox, because not only are they historically bad, they're probably going to get worse next year.
Now, which record gets broken first, the White Sox loss record or Cal Ripken's record? There's your debate for First Take on Monday, September 30th, and there's no baseball going on.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, White Sox are going to put out a similar roster next year, so they're going for gold, baby.
I can't wait to see what the over-under is on Bet365.
Yeah, exactly. The Reds fired David Bell as their manager. We got that like a week or so and a half before the end of the season. I kind of took this as you have way too talented of a team to disappoint maybe at the level that you had. Maybe they want to get new blood in there. Maybe he wasn't speaking to the culture of the clubhouse. I don't know, but I don't know if you have any thoughts on David Bell. And I would pay attention. Sometimes the managers can have effect. I don't want a manager that's going to come in and slow down this team from running. I want them to be hyper aggressive. I have no idea who they'll bring in, though. Yeah,
it'll be interesting because he just signed an extension through 2026 this season. So that's a big oof. And the management already came out and said there was indifferences between the two sides. And it's tough for David Bell when you look at that roster. Yeah, there's a couple good players, don't get me wrong, but when like Benson and Marte and company aren't producing, it's kind of tough to be successful.
Yeah. Well, and on a fun note, I just want to throw out here, you guys know Bubba's wearing his Peoria Javelinas hat. If you saw my photo back here, I've got my customized AFL jersey. Well, the rumor is today or tomorrow, the Arizona Fall League is going to release the rosters. So we'll know all the guys that are going to be sent to the Arizona Fall League. Some of you probably don't care about it. I cover it because I go every single day, starting in October, to all the games. Of note, Christian Encarnacion Strand is set to come and play in the AFL, which is kind of weird. We don't see that a lot. We have seen in the past, like Kyle Schwarber returning from a season-long injury, came and played in the AFL for 3 or 4 games. Tyler O'Neill last year, I believe it was, came for like 1 game if the Cardinals were to advance. Those things can kind of happen occasionally. Maybe that was 2 years ago. But Encarnacion Strand is like lost his prospect eligibility. So I think they're giving him an exemption because of the season that he's lost. And so there you go. There's a Reds player that's going to be out. Christian Encarnacion Strand scheduled to play in the Arizona Fall League, which starts October 7th. And Bubba, you will be out roughly a month, roughly about a month or so, 5 weeks.
Yep, going to be awesome.
And you get to see him. Some notes on some players from Sunday here. Tristan Casas, big game, 3 homers, 7 RBI, now 12 homers and a little under 200 at-bats this year. Just a quick, are you going to be a big buyer on Tristan Casas? I think he might come at a discount-esque type of flow, because it's like 190 something at bats, but 241 batting average right now. So he's going to have an under 250 season, a lot of injuries. Production's okay. I think his cost could probably be relatively nice.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan. He will come at a bit of a discount, but first base dries up rather quickly. in your drafts when you start prepping for 2025. And Costas is one of the last men out there for now. That could change, but I am a fan of the potential price tag on hopefully a healthy season from Tristan Costas.
You almost hate to see having a 3 home run day, because that's like that little oomph that pushes the stats up. Had he not had no, it would have been like, maybe under 240 season, maybe he gets to 10 homers by the end of the year. But this just like irked it and pushed it up just a tiny bit more.
Yep.
Which is, speaking of insanity and those stats moving up, Shohei Ohtani combo meal yesterday. It seems like a decade ago that we cared about a 50-50, because Ohtani is now up to 53 homers, 54 stolen bases. He had 1 homer, 2 stolen bases on Sunday. Legit shot at 55-55. And a lot of people just kind of jokingly being like, hey, 60-60 is not out of the realm of possibility for Shohei Ohtani. I also saw a lot of, it's Atlanta Brave accounts, but a lot of people complaining about like, listen, Acuna was 40-70, really dismissive of like what Ohtani has done is uniquely incredible. The guy might pitch into the playoffs. He's the 1-1 across the board. Do you think there's going to be any discussion about Ohtani being the 1-1 as a DH next year in fantasy? Like, do you think that's even, because that was something I said, if people remember, Ohtani was ADP like 10, 9, somewhere in there. I pushed him up in that like final month of the season. We were talking about shows. I pushed him up to like 5. And I was just like, let's kill I don't care about the DH. I care about the stat return. And I'm going to put a hyper focus and not even worry about the DH thing. But that's always in people's minds, Bubba. Do you think that is completely squashed going into next year? Or do you think Bobby Witt, Aaron Judge, DH, let that be a differentiating factor and moving him down maybe a notch or 2?
There will be some people that use it as a factor. It should not be a factor. I think if you did 100 drafts, Shohei probably goes number 1, like 90 of them, I would say. And then you'll get some cute, Bobby Witts and Judges in there. But the utility DH thing should not factor at all. He's an absolute monster, and that should continue for you next year.
A couple pitching things to throw. Oh, actually, also speaking of the other guy that could be out there, Aaron Judge, 2 for 3 with a homer, a couple walks. Judge up now to 55, breaking some other of his own, I think, career highs, not the home runs. Probably not going to get to the 60. But you know what? Hey, you could have a 3 home run day, and I never say never with a guy like Aaron Judge.
Dude missed like a month of baseball too,
which is crazy. Some pitching updates. Luis Gil got his 15th win this weekend against the A's. Went 5 1/3. Actually, one of his worst outings because he gave up 4 runs. But this note on Roto World I thought was interesting. He had allowed 1 or no runs in 13 of his previous 14 appearances, which he is actually the presumed AL favorite for Rookie of the Year, just because nobody else really took it. Yeah. I know William Bray has been out there. Colton Cowser was holding it for some time, but Luis Gil might be it. And I sure hope not for my own bet, but we might have 2 pitchers taking the Rookie of the Year awards in Skeens and Luis Gil. Also on the pitching front, Shoto Imanaga, 6 hits over 7 innings, has a 15-3 record, a 2.91 ERA. Egg on my face forever thinking he wasn't going to be able to just completely dominate, and he never really fell apart. And Yu Darvish pitched 6 1/3 of an inning of 2-run ball, struck out 9 against the White Sox. It's the White Sox, but the main thing there was Darvish kind of getting back his sea legs before the end of the season. He has 1 more game to go, and it'll be against the Arizona Diamondbacks, I believe, probably Friday in this final series, which could have NL West more wild card implications with the Dodgers. So there's a theory that like the Diamondbacks could maybe even get eliminated depending what happens the rest of the way through. Are you going to trust Yu Darvish in this final start against the Diamondbacks this week?
Yeah, you have to. If you're looking at a lot of the matchups that are out there, a lot of potential good pitchers that might not even pitch a full game this weekend, you got to roll Darvish out there and rock and roll.
You got to roll it out. I think you can be comfortable with it. Same thing. I think Heal's got 1 more start. Be good with it. He did get hit a little bit, but 13 to 14 to 1 or 0 runs, pretty dang good. I wanted to move injuries up here because I do think it's more relevant to have here. Francisco Lindor said after Sunday's game that he thinks he's going to have to play through the pain when he attempts to return from his back injury. Says he wants to get back out there for this final week, but trainers have got to clear him. The Mets, if they're going to do this, they just pulled off a win against Philly, which was absolutely critical. I wouldn't be shocked if Lindor gets the activation just like that. And I'd point out, someone in the chat very smartly said, because they're right, this is the week There were already weeks of this, but this is the week. It doesn't matter who you cut. It doesn't matter. You just go for it, depending what's available in your league. Lindor's that one little tiny one where it's like, I kind of want to hold out hope just because I do think there's a possibility he could just pop up for the last, 5 games or something like that. All they got to say is like, you're good to go. And he's just going to play through that pain.
Yeah, it's like a yin and a yang. Like he's going to be in pain. So, he's not 100%, but he's ready to rock and roll and try to get the Mets into the postseason. Like Angelo mentions, Mets and Braves will be epic this week. It's going to be some musty that, and then the Dodgers Padres, because technically a Padres winning out the year and Dodgers losing the rest of the year, Padres win the division. Like there's some craziness still going on for this final week, but that Mets Braves, oh boy, going to be
also Diamondback fans got to be rooting for the Mets because the Braves are the ones that are tailing back up. If the Diamondbacks falter a little bit, they got the Giants for the next couple, and then they're going to be playing the Padres.
Giants just knocked the Royals down a few pegs, so watch out, folks.
The Diamondbacks and the Braves/Mets, they could all be vying for their life this coming weekend. And you want to know what's crazy? I hope it means something. I'm going to the final game of this season. My kids actually have a thing at the stadium with the Diamondbacks, so I'll be there on Sunday, and it might be for all the marbles. The marbles.
Nice. You might see Erod for all the marbles. You must be so excited about that.
No. Well, no, Erod's going today, though.
He's got a 2-step. He goes Sunday.
Oh, God, is he going to go Sunday?
Because they have a day off. Everyone plays 6 games this week except the Reds and Guardians only play 5 because they play at 2 this week. So, yeah, he'll go Sunday. He's for now scheduled for Sunday.
And the Padres might throw out us like a Michael King goes tomorrow, but they might throw out like Michael King and
Michael King would be the guy on Sunday.
It's my boy too, Michael King.
Yeah,
a couple other injuries. It is an amazing matchup. Speaking of the Mets, Kodai Senga will not return to the Mets before the end of the regular season after feeling tightness in his triceps after his rehab appearance Saturday for AAA Syracuse. Also, minor league seasons are over now, so any work that anybody's getting, they're doing on the backfields as instructs are going on across baseball. Kodai Senga. Gabriel Moreno continuously hurt all season. He told reporters after Sunday's loss that he's going to undergo an MRI today on his abductor. I think this could end his season unless he's going to play through pain. This is like the 3rd time he's done this. There's a possibility he could rest for 2 days. Again, the Diamondbacks are doing instructs, so he could then just run over to Salt River Fields, maybe a little casino trip, do a game, and then he could get back to the Diamondbacks. But I don't know. I suspect with the lingering injuries, this could be it for him.
Yeah, that's where I'm leaning. They're saying it's not as bad as the previous injury, but I don't care. Like I expect Adrian Del Castillo to be on a ship back to Arizona here by Tuesday.
I wouldn't be surprised. And then Yordan Alvarez undergoing imaging on his right knee, according to the Astros manager. So another thing to keep an eye on. Hey, little playoff prep. Bubba, I have 4 pitchers that I think are available relatively. I did compare it to FantasyPros consensus ownership, but that's going to alter ESPN Yahoo numbers. Most of these guys are all under like 10%, but active leagues, they just move up and down, probably 40 to 50% in CBS. I have 4 pitchers that are pitching on Tuesday and Wednesday that I want to get a yay or nay from you. If people are trying to stream points leagues, I think these guys are all options, not looking at zeros. Head-to-head roto, you do have like maybe some concerns. And then on Wednesday, you and Joe can do that for like Thursday, Friday, and then Friday we'll do it for the weekend to kind of finish you out. So these guys, I believe everyone I'm going to give you is on Wednesday because I think Tuesday's set is garbage. But here you go. Kiter Montero going up against Tampa Bay. Did get hit in his last start, but had 0 earned runs in his previous 2 at home. Tigers rolling versus Tampa Bay. Yay or nay on Montero?
Yay on Montero. The Tampa Bay Rays offense is dreadful, striking out a ton. I'll take my chances in that stream for the final week.
I'm agreeing with you on this. Number 2, at Washington, no CJ Abrams, Alec Marsh for Kansas City, I believe has a similar, I think his last start was bad, and the previous set were pretty good. He's got an 8-9 record so far in this year. Yay or nay on Alec Marsh?
Deep leagues only. I'm still very skeptical. This national team doesn't strike out a lot, so they put a lot of balls in play, makes it sketchy, and there's still like a 20% chance that's Michael Lorenzen starts. So keep an eye on that.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Well, and it could just be pushed because this is Wednesday. It could be pushed into Thursday.
There's a lot of moving parts with that one.
And that's the craziness about this week, by the way, for everybody. Like everything can change on a dime. Number 3, At Minnesota, Edward Cabrera. Now, I bring him up because he is the highest ownership, but got obliterated in the last start, but he had been good. So we are going to Minnesota, Edward Cabrera.
I can't do it. I love the skill set of Edward Cabrera, but the inconsistencies, he could nuke your final week.
All right. And then finally, this ownership, this makes it kind of a little bit difficult if he's out there, but I just want to throw it just in case. It's Cody Bradford going up against Oakland. God, I should have wrote down all the stats. I was looking at all the stuff. I want to say Bradford might have, like a lot of these guys, had another one of those last bad start and had been carrying some decent ones prior to this. He's got Oakland, smaller leagues. He may be available. What do you say on Bradford?
I would roll with Bradford if you can. Yeah, it was a bad start last time out. Overall, been really, really good. He at least has the ceiling probably higher than anybody we talked about today.
Okay, so then rank these: Montero, Marsh, Cabrera, Bradford.
Montero, Bradford, Marsh, Cabrera.
Okay, so Montero leads the pack, and he's like under 8% owned across both. Okay, so you guys are looking to stream Tuesday, Wednesday to get something in there. Go to Montero. Someone asked a question too. I just want to point out, Anthony is like, hey, any 2-start waiver wire pitchers. We're not doing that because everybody is going to move and change as teams get into playoffs. I'm not saying there aren't, but I would really hate to try to sell
I'll throw one for fun that should change. Landon Knack of the Dodgers. He's pitching Monday and Sunday. There's no reason Knack should get moved in that rotation.
But Knack, a lot of the time, will play the opener role.
No, not since he's come back. He's throwing 5+.
Okay, then I completely missed it. I thought, well, you know what? I forgot. The last one I saw, it was an opener because he gave up 5 earned runs in the first 2 innings.
That's why it was an opener. He got shelled. But other than that, he's been good. Yes.
I still don't know if I trust that. I'd rather Montero on there. So I think the better recommendation to focus on, I know some of you have like 2 or 3 only pickups in the week, is just being hyper focused on
a lot of good streams
on the great streaming pitcher than it is trying to get 2 starts out of it. So that's why, like, focusing on Montero would be at the tippy top over the next couple days. And then let's also see how the rotations work out. Teams will bring up pitchers to push rotations to set up playoff matchups. Even Torey Lovello said if they have a chance to beat San Diego and move past San Diego for some home field advantage, they're going to do it. If they don't, and they have a playoff spot locked, they're going to rest starters to set up their pitchers. So that's why things are going to change over the next 3 or 4 days. And you also can have teams that are completely out of it. Just push this guy, let this guy get rest. It just weird stuff happen. Yes, Kiter Montero is the pitcher that we were talking about there in the playoff prep. Anybody else? I didn't want to like move passes. You suggested Knack. Is there anybody else you really like?
No, just for the early week, that's fine. Like we'll talk about. So there are some I like Thursday and Friday for sure. Cool. Like there's a lot of good 1-starters this week for Thursday.
Well, then make sure you tune in on Wednesday. Bubba and Enrico, they will break down those Thursday and Friday starters that you guys might be able to stream. On the 3 up and 3 down, Kerry Carpenter and Zach Neto both dropped 2 homer double dong days. Neto, by the way, had 6 RBI in that performance. Top 50 player next year. Trey Turner, Jake McCarthy, Bryson Stott, and Miles Straw all double stolen bases. We don't have a double dong for stolen bases. Double bags, double steals.
I'll think of something that's PG and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, well, double dong's not really PG, but yeah, you can do that. And then one of the best pitchers in baseball in the second half, maybe the best pitcher, and someone that is going to be wildly difficult for everybody to manage next year. Blake Snell, 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, gave up just 2 hits. And what the hell is anybody going to want to do with him? He's pitched like he should be a top 5 pitcher in baseball. He will not be ranked as a top 10 pitcher, most likely in fantasy because of those swings. And he kind of continuously, if you do it right, probably going to be a value next season.
If you are aggressive in starting pitching, which some people are, he is going to be an amazing SP2 based on his ADP because people are, like you said, going to be concerned. I think he signs early this year. I don't think we're seeing any of that BS. He was angry about what took place with Boris. A lot of those guys are. So I think Snell signed sooner than expected, and we're going to see that ADP get up a little bit, but still a really solid value.
And on the down, Frankie Montas, boom, boom, with the boom, with like the double chonk. He got double chonked all over. 2 2/3, 7 earned runs, 3 homers given up. He was given the boom. Pablo Lopez, 4 innings, 7 earned runs, gave up 9 hits. Probably the most disastrous pitcher you could have for your playoff and roto run. Hunter Renfroe, Michael Tolia, both of the old 0 for 4 and 4 strikeouts. That's, I guess they say, that's the doom. Those guys. I just see them everywhere. It's ridiculous. My friends, we've been doing it all season long. It is time that we look at our Bet365 best bets of the day with Bubba and the Welsh. We really got to get that artwork changed for next year. These are our best bets of the day, Bubba. What are you looking at doing? And a very small slate, by the way. Only four games going on Monday.
4 games to pick from, folks. So
final week of baseball. Let's put 4 on Monday to start the week. That's awesome.
Bright side, that means everybody else pretty much plays the rest of the week. So that's a plus.
Point,
But it's a small slate. So to keep things simple here, I'll take 3 total bases, all at plus money as usual. Give me Trey Turner over 1.5 total bases with a bullpen game from the Cubs, starting with Pearson. Turner's been red hot of late, so to get plus money, and that actually surprised me. Corbin Carroll, I think the D-backs stay red hot versus Birdsong and company, if not Birdsong, the bullpen of the Giants. So Corbin Carroll over 1.5 total bases at plus 125. And Ayo, Hinio, I don't care how old and bad I've been before, Suarez over 1.5 total bases at plus 135. I'm a Giants fan, folks, and I think they get smacked by the D-backs tonight. So, I like the D-backs. I'm rooting for the D-backs. So I hope they get into the postseason, and tonight's a big step in the right direction.
I'm actually going to be tailing with you. First up, I've got no run first inning, Seattle and Houston. Hunter Brown, Bryce Miller, love that matchup. A little bit banged up on that Houston side. So I like that no run first inning, minus 130. But my other 2 bets are on Arizona. I'm going to take, as you just mentioned, you said you think they're going to get shellacked. The Giants are. Birdsong, like a 4.6 ERA. Expected numbers right around the exact same. So I like Arizona's run line, minus 1.5. So to win by 2 runs, plus money. It's like plus 110. So I love that. And then I was with you. I was about to actually take the Corbin Carroll. I hadn't looked at your numbers. I was going to take Corbin Carroll's total bases. He hasn't been good as of recent, but 260 at home while hitting like 202 on the road, which is a benefit. But Ketel Marte is plus 125 total base, 1.5 over. And he has a 260 road split to 333 at home. He has 3 straight games with a home run. He has been on fire, top of the lineup. Could not love Ketel Marte total bases anymore. And we're both stacking up those.
You guys should parlay Carroll and Marte total bases. See what happens, just for funsies.
What the hell not? Yeah, Corbin Carroll even hit is just minus 225 if you want to do that.
Have some fun.
You can play those bad boys. You can check all of our stuff out at on the Betting Pros app if you have not done so before. But those are the best bets of the day. Let's kick this bad boy out with the home run board. I got an updated home run board, and ladies and gentlemen, unless we get an Ohtani-like week from Razor Ramon, South African G has crossed the 60 home run marker. South African G is looking to break the home run record all alone here. Has a 4 home run lead in the final week to take home this autographed Vladimir Guerrero bat. But Razor Ramon, got to have a big one. Going to have to also probably play off of and not go with the chalk. At 56. So South African G at 60, Razor Ramon at 56, B Trot down at 53. Those are your leaders. Shout out to Wonky Penguin, who crossed over 50 in 7th. Joey P, I don't even remember who his perpetuity is. I think Soto or whatever is at 42. I've not done a good job about doing perpetuity. It's whoever I've had last. So I am not going to get on that board. Most likely. I think I'm probably still at 33. But South African G looks like they are going to take this down, and that'll be a fun update on Friday. Bubba, who are you going with your home run call today?
I'm going to stick with Corbin Carroll. I think he has a big game at home. I love your home run call as well, but give me Corbin Carroll on that one.
Yeah, I'm sticking with what I just mentioned. I'm going with Ketel Marte. I mean, 4 straight days would be absolutely ridiculous, but I love him hitting at home. He loves to hit at home. These are massively important games, and I potentially get an extra bat or 2. Yep, love it. Ketel Marte for my home run call. And ladies and gentlemen, that is it. So Wednesday, it's Bubba and Arico for their finality of them. By the way, Rico, shout out, was in the chat being a peanut and cracker jet for some of the show, hanging out with everybody. So shout out to him. But they're going to be doing their final episode together on Wednesday. So make sure you come out in droves to support them. Then on Friday, Joey P is back with me, and we are going to end out the show on Friday, recapping some of the season, talking, maybe previewing some of the playoffs. We'll be doing all of that on Friday. Joey P and Welsh back. So there you go. Make sure you guys are locked in on YouTube. youtube.com/FantasyPros MLB. Make sure you're subscribed because we got off-season stuff planned, and we want you guys to be hanging with us more than we've ever had before. And make sure you're subscribed on the podcast. For Bubba at BD Intric, you can find me at Is It The Welsh, both on the Twitters. We'll talk to you next time, and good luck in this final week of the MLB season. We out. Goodbye, friends. Peace.